Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Codedsteele, and welcome back to another AutoDesk123D design tutorial. So last time, if you guys remember, we built this maker slide, the single channel maker slide. But you guys might also have seen this profile before for a maker slide too. Basically, it's two of these stacked on top of each other with some minor modifications. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a dual one, and then I'm going to also show you how to make this four-piece one as well. There are dimensional guidelines for that one, but we really don't need them too much because once you do the dual design, you can pretty much just take them and put them together and you'll have the four design one. So without further ado, let's get started. Just so you guys are aware, I'm not going to make it a requirement to watch the previous tutorial. So if you don't have this file, it will be available here. I'll push the link out to you guys in the description for the video once I'm done, and you guys will be able to download the maker slide CAD drawing that we did in the last tutorial, and then you guys will all be able to follow along with just this new design. So without further ado, then let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, if we kind of take a look at this drawing, it looks like the edges are pretty much not really rounded. They're more or less flat. So I'm going to get rid of all the rounded edge profiles that we made in the last video. This isn't really a requirement. I'm just you could probably leave them and it'll be just fine, but I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do it anyways, just because I want to basically try to mimic this design as close as I can. So now that we've done that, I'm not going to do anything with these beveled edges. Even though it's hard to see that stuff, it looks like they actually don't even have that stuff. It's all flat. I'm not going to remove that. If you guys want to, you can. You can do the same thing I did here. I clicked on the rounded part and then hit the delete key, and it makes it back into a straight corner again. So you guys can do the same thing with this if you want to. You could click on all of these. You could click on this profile here and then delete that and make that back to a straight edge, but I'm not going to go that far. So now that we've got our rounded edges deleted, we're going to go back to actually getting this going here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Control-C, which will copy it, and then Control-V, which will paste it. And that's going to show this, almost like we're trying to move it, but we're going to move it up 20 millimeters at another copy of the channel. So now we've got a channel that is starting to kind of look like what we're trying to achieve here. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to project all of this stuff to make modifications to the face easily. So we're going to project this face and we're going to project that face. And now we basically have something that we can edit. And at this point, if we really wanted to, we could delete these shapes. I'm not going to bother. Just going to leave them there. They're not getting in the way. So we need to start modifying stuff on this sketch here to line up with what we got going on. So what we need to do is we need to turn around and create this little triangular profile on the top and on the bottom. And that's saying it's 4.75 millimeters long. So what we need to do there is we need to turn around and actually we're going to extend this face out into this face here. We're going to pull it out this way. No, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, hang on. Let's try that this way. I wanted to extrude it out. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So now we're extruded that face out, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to extrude it out in this direction a little bit. And the reason why we're doing that is we need a face to be able to draw on in order to be able to accurately get our stuff. If I just try to draw this out where there's no shape, when I go to draw stuff, it's possible that it can get messed up. So you need a flat surface oftentimes to actually draw on. Otherwise, it's just going to make stuff really crazy. So now what we need to do is start drawing that triangle. And what we can do for that is we want to take 4.75 and divide by 2, and that's how far we're going to need to come out. So 2.375. So let me get my line thing and come out 2.375 mils. So there's my 2.375 mil line. So now we need to do the same thing in this direction. So this channel is 40 millimeters long. So that means from triangle to triangle, there's 6.35 millimeters. So we need to go 6.35 divided by 2 to get the height of both of those triangles, and that's 3.175. So now I'm going to draw another line that's going to come up 3.175 millimeters. So now you got a line that's 3.175 millimeters tall, and we're going to connect that to there, since that's how this is done there. So 6.35, just what I did there, divided by 2, 3.175. That's how I've got my millimeters, how high to go up there. So next, we need to turn around and do our 2.375 in the other direction. So let me do that. 2.375 in the other direction. So now we've got our lines to follow, and then we just need to connect these. So let me connect that to that. And then now, if I actually wanted to, I can come back in here and I can trim away that profile there. And now I've got a triangle that I can extrude back to make the actual part of the channel. So I want to do the same thing with this bottom part. So I'm going to do that off screen real quick. I'll quick recreate the same triangle down here by extruding this face out, and then doing the exact same dimensions that it shows on here that we did for the other one. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, now we're back. So as you can see, I did the exact same thing. I created the exact same triangle on the bottom as I have up top. So 3.965, 3.965. So exact same triangle created on the top and the bottom. And then we can leave these sketch profiles extended. It's not a big deal. The next thing we need to work on, we can see that this part here is shaved off. So really what we did here is it looks like we pretty much just followed through with this to this line and just went straight down. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to actually draw a polyline. We're going to click on this shape and we're going to draw a polyline from here all the way down to there. And that's our 9 millimeter polyline there. That's going to create our line that we're going to follow here. So we've got that. Now pretty much all we need to do is do our polyline and follow this sketch to that line. So now we're at our 3 millimeter line there, and we've got this shape that we can pretty much just cut out here. So the same thing, you need to do the same thing down here and follow this for 3 millimeters. Still it snaps to that line, and then now we've got these two profiles that we can pretty much extrude out. So if we look at that, that's kind of what they did there. They followed that and actually cut it all out like that. And you can see they did the same thing on this other side over here. They cut these profiles off over here as well. So we can turn around and we can mimic that. It's the same thing that we did before. Draw the line straight down. I won't edit this part out because it's easy, nice and quick. Or I won't cut this part out, I mean, because it's nice and quick. So we can turn around, same thing, and snap it there. Done. And then turn around and grab the polyline and do the exact same thing here. So now we have got, this must have stopped a little short. All right. Oh, no, there we go. Okay, so it's good. So now we can cut all of these 4 profiles out here. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to turn around and we're going to extrude this and cut that profile. Come on. There we go. We're going to extrude this back and cut these profiles out. So we'll say -1000. Say -1000, whatever, or 1000. And we want to subtract. So click the little drop down, make sure it says subtract. And that's going to cut that face out, and we're going to do the same thing to these other ones. We're going to extrude them, and we're going to subtract, and we're going to say -1000. And that'll cut all of these faces out here. Let's see, extrude, another -1000. And I'm just going with -1000 because I know that that'll actually cut out the shape there. So same thing, extrude -1000. Done. Okay, so now you guys can see if I turn these sketches off, we have actually created this part pretty much right here, the profiles that align themselves there. Another thing that we've got to do here real quick is we actually have to extend this profile to here to create that bridge. So what we can do for that is we can actually come up here to the construct tab and say extrude, and we can just click on this face and then click on this face, and it will snap it to that and extrude it all the way down. So now you guys can see that we have that actually extruded all the way down until it met the other face there. So that created our profile there. The next thing we need to do is we can kind of see there are these division markers, but we can turn around and we can actually merge this all together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to merge this shape with that shape, and then that's going to solidify that bond there. So if we really wanted to get fancy with this, we could delete this edge and we could actually make this to where it extrudes all the way down, because that's kind of how they did it there. They actually looks like they deleted this edge here. So if I zoom in here, I should be able to zero in on that and delete. If I undo what I did there actually and delete this edge there and delete this edge down here, I can create a more solid profile. And the reason it won't let me do that is because of this blocky shape. So let me quick take this, and in order to be able to do that, we're going to have to extrude this back to there. And then what we can do, that's too far. That's not how far I wanted to extrude that. I wanted to extrude it back to there. So that relieved or got rid of everything that we originally did to it, and then I can delete that, and now I can extrude this and it will actually mesh completely up with that shape, which is probably the better way to do that. And then now I can remerge these two shapes, and then there we go. And the same thing, I can actually, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to get rid of this bottom shape down here by extruding this back to that surface. That cleans that up. I can do the same thing here by extruding this surface down until it matches that surface. Alright, and then turn around and in the same regard, extrude this until it matches that surface. So there we go. That essentially is very close to the shape. All we've got to do now is turn our sketches back on and extrude this profile all the way down the length of the shape. So I need to extrude that all the way until it gets to here. And then that should line up with the bottom of the shape, and it does. So I can do the same thing here. Click this, say extrude, pivot over to the other side of my shape here, and then just click there, and boom, it snaps directly to that. So that essentially is our shape there. We have made the shape that is shown on here. Now it looks like they did a little bit of chamfering on the corners there. It kind of looks like it. It's hard to see. It looks like they might have actually added a chamfer on the corner, but that dimension's not outlined. So if I really wanted to, I suppose I could actually chamfer this corner a little bit, either round it if I wanted to, or do something, you know, else a little bit more intricate. But I can turn around and I can add a slight chamfer to this corner, maybe of, you know, 0.5 millimeter, and that'll, you know, kind of add a little bit of a bevel shape to that. And I could do the same thing down here, you know, turning around, clicking on the edge, or clicking, I guess go up here, clicking on chamfering, and then bringing that in 0.5 millimeter as well. So you can kind of play with that, or you could even fillet it and round it, however you want to do it. And you can clean that up. But since that dimension's not outlined, that's we're going to leave that as being a little bit flexible as far as what you can do with this channel. So anyways, you've got something that actually matches the maker slide that you see, and you may have seen on various CNC machines and other devices. So now we're going to do we're going to go through how to make the quad slide, and then we will move on to something else, or we'll end the video. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to move it over, and then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to move it over 20 millimeters till that matches up there. So we're going to leave that shape to the side, and then I'll upload both of these shapes once I'm done with the video. But now what we're going to want to do to make that quad looking shape is we need to follow the quad slide design here. So it's pretty much straightforward and simple. Really, all we want to do is just get rid of all of these center pieces here. So what we'll do first is we'll turn around, do the same thing we did to start off with before. We'll actually turn around and project all of these shapes here, and that'll help us get our profile kind of started here. So we'll zoom in, move over, and then we will start doing what we need to do here. So you guys might have already identified pretty much the best way to do this. We'll just do the polyline, and then the same thing, we'll do the polyline here, and polyline here. And just like that, we pretty much have a design that we can turn around and get ready to extrude it all out here. So first of all, what we're probably going to need to do is separate, obviously, some of this stuff here, because we don't want to be turning around and deleting things that we don't want, or we don't want to be deleting things that we actually need to keep. So really what we need to do when we look at this is we need to make it to where we're just deleting that center part here, so just this leg. So really, and then this part obviously doesn't exist either, so it's pretty much hollow all inside of there. So what we'll do is we'll take a polyline, and we'll turn around and we'll do a polyline from here to there to separate the shapes. So we're not deleting anything we don't want to delete here. And then we will also, we have our polylines there. Let's see how this looks now. So now we would just be deleting the shape part that we actually want to delete. So if we turn around, once we draw our line there, it cuts off the rest of the shape and will only remove what we want it to remove. So what we need to do now is extrude this part out. I do the same thing, minus 1000, because I know it's going to delete everything that we don't want. And then do the same thing, extrude this out and say minus 1000. And then that will also extrude that part out. So now you guys can see that we have our hollow center that we wanted here. We made our hollow part inside of here. The only thing we've got to do is, and it looks like I might have messed up there because I deleted some stuff that I didn't want to delete. Yep, I did. So my bad on that one. I wanted to keep this part here. So we'll turn around, zoom in real quick here. I'm not going to turn around and try to get ultra precise with this, I guess. But you guys kind of get the point, I think, at this point. It's 0.707. So really all I need to do is just come off of this point and then go 0.707 and then look for that to line up right there. So there we go. We have recreated that profile over there. And then just do a little bit of trimming to clean it up. So right there, done. And then now we can actually turn around and do what I originally wanted to do and extrude this profile all the way out. And then do the same here, extrude that profile all the way out there. So now we have essentially, we're getting to the point where we have the shape that we want to have here in the center. The other thing we need to do is we need to look at this part up here. So we can kind of see that it really all they are doing here on this quad slide is they're joining all the outer pieces together to create that quad channel. So essentially what they're doing is exactly what we did over here with part of that, is they're turning around and they're just going to be, well, first of all, they're going to draw this polyline right, we're going to draw this polyline right here. That will allow us to delete all of these triangles. So we want to turn around and delete all of these triangles off the slide here. Do the same thing again. Polyline this till we get to there. And then in the same regard, extrude minus 1000, done, gone. And then do this, the obvious, 2 more times to turn around and delete what we don't want down here. So turn around, same thing real quick here. This won't take us but a second, and then we'll move back into what needs to be done to finish the rest of this. Okay, and then there's all of our triangles deleted. So now we need to start working on actually bridging the gaps that we want to be bridging here. So we kind of already did this side here. We already know that this side is correct. So we want to actually quickly bridge this side here. So what we need to do, draw our polyline, draw from here to there. And then also, if we look back at this shape, we just want that to join up into those pieces. So really, we need to turn around and draw a polyline from here to there, and here to there. So now we can gut out the shape here that we don't want. Remove that. And then also remove this. So now that part of the shape has been removed and deleted. So we've kind of got what we needed to have happen there. So if we turn around and we do the same thing down here real quick, and then we'll mess with this side here in just a little bit. If we do the same thing that we needed to do up there, down here, turn around, come under Sketch, Polyline, turn around and do the exact same thing, and bring this line all the way across. Bring this line down to here, and bring this line down to here. You can do the same thing and remove this chunk. Again, extruding it out, -1000. Extruding it out, -1000. And you guys can see that we've actually got a shape that's almost what we were looking at. The last part we really need to clean up is this part right over here, and there's really only a couple things that we need to do in regards to that, and that is get these dimensions back correctly. So really what we could do here, if we wanted to be a little bit more constructive or make things a little bit easier on us, and I'm going to do that instead of actually deleting this last part out. This is a good opportunity for me to show you a new command that we can actually use here. So really what we'll do is we'll use a mirror command here. This is a perfect time for this command here, and it'll work real well for this. So the mirror command, what it's going to allow us to do is draw a line here. And really that line I don't think has to be all the way this long, but I'm going to do it this long anyway. Get it to snap. Okay. Draw a line here. Click on, so we want to go up to where it says mirror. Click on the solid that we want. Click on the solid that we want to mirror, and then click on the mirror plane, which is this, and it'll create a mirrored copy on the other side. And then we can just take and we can snap these parts together, and just like that we can turn around, come up here to merge, and we can merge these shapes together, and just like that we have created that other part of the channel. In retrospect, this was probably the easier thing from the get-go, just doing this side and then just mirroring it, but I kind of got to turn around and take a nice little detour and show you guys how the mirror command works right here at the end of the episode, or the end of this tutorial, excuse me. So if you look at this, that is exactly pretty much the same as this is, or I'm sorry, this side is over here, except for the fact that it's mirrored. Both of these shapes look almost pretty close to exactly what you guys see here. So that is essentially how you turn around and create these maker slide things. Now, depending on the height of your 3D printer, you more than likely want to print these face down. So you'd want to print it with the face on the printer. Otherwise, you're going to need support material and stuff all in the inside of here to be able to turn around and print this up. So really printing this would be best with this face down on the bed, print bed. So that is essentially how you do these two maker slide shapes. If you have any suggestions for future tutorials, or if there's anything that I did not explain clearly, you can email me at codedsteele@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below in the section and make a suggestion about how I can do things better, or a tutorial that you would like to see get done, whatever it may be, and we can definitely try to fit that in and make that happen. So as usual, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in our next tutorial.